Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is whimreaper and today we're continuing to work on the fairy godmother's cottage. Now if you watched the last part, you can tell that I've done a little bit more to the landscaping since I've talked to you guys. I've added, I think, these little flowers up the side, this garden here, which is where I would imagine her to pick her flowers for her potions, and I think I stuck all these on while you were watching. Yeah, I definitely did. So yeah, let's just show you the update, and I also worked out the interior colors. I haven't added on the basement yet, which I realize is kind of a big thing, so I shouldn't leave it too long. But yeah, let's just continue making her cottage. I think I'm really happy with the exterior, so I probably won't touch it very much this part at all. We'll be mostly focusing on this part of the cottage, and we might get to figuring out where the basement goes, but we won't touch furnishing that this part, I think. So like I said last part, the reception desk is going to be here. This might be like a little more private office area for the elf who works here. Bathrooms, and then her office, which has her red theme going on, like we were talking about last time. Oh yeah, and the reason I only put one of these curtains here was to remind me to put them all the way around, which it worked. But yeah, as you can see, I went with blue wallpaper and then this striped blue and white. And yeah, I think that works pretty well because, like I said, I see the blue theme as being what she wants to show others and the red theme as being her actual personality, which is a little bit more fiery, a little bit more hot-headed, just like how we created her in Create-A-Sim. So yeah, oh, I didn't do the floor. Yeah, okay, I'll start with the floor then. I said I was going to start furnishing this, or I was going to say I was going to start furnishing this part, but without the flooring, that's a little bit difficult. I'll turn off the grid too. I find that kind of annoying when I'm watching YouTubers. I don't know. Here, let's also put it afternoon lighting. And actually, let's stick in a couple lights as well, just so we can see if it matches. I think I'm immediately just going to go for this light. It's just popped into my mind as soon as I was thinking about lighting up the place. So it must be a sign that that's what we gotta go with. Yeah, so I think it would kind of be one over there and then one in the lounge area. Maybe this one should be more centered with the office, or maybe it could be in between. It's just hard to line it up here because I could line it up with the middle of the desk, which will be here. But then these look pretty close together. Actually, let's go with that. And then, yeah, that way we can see the flooring like I was talking about. I definitely want to go with wood because I think stone inside always makes it look less fairy tale and more actual realistic medieval times. And let's just sorry, let me tell you, the medieval times were not fun. I'm sorry that I'm kind of tripping over my words today. I'm just a bit tired. I was at my parents' on the weekend for Father's Day, so I'm just a little bit not quite jet lagged, it's not that far away, but just a little bit drowsy from the switching my sleeping schedule up a little bit. I think we were going with the oak tones outside, and of course it comes in with the windows, but I think we might just have to go with white. That looks kind of the best, and also it keeps it really classy. Maybe we should go with this one. No, that makes it look cheap. I don't know why. It's a more expensive wood, but it looks cheap to me. Maybe this design? I kind kind of like that, but I think I want it just for a designated area in this lounge section. Maybe just a square like that. And then around it, but then that covers the doorway. Actually, let's put it on the other side over here. Yeah, that's better. Actually, let's go with maybe fewer of those, or we could. I do like this. I want to use it because I think it's kind of ornate, and she would have more subtle ornate features but more simple furnishing. So I want that to be expressed in the build, the ornate kind of sensibility without it being all of the furniture is like that. I think maybe this old hickory style is good for the rest of the floor. I don't know which way to turn the floorboards either. I kind of struggle with this, I don't know why. And then her office definitely needs darker flooring. We'll get to that later though, actually. Yeah, okay, that's a good start. So I want to put a portrait of her either over here or over here, so I think I'm going to leave both of them blank or put some really obnoxious poster there to remind me that we need to get her painted. Which I might just create a random elf who has a high painting skill and then delete him later, or I could keep him. I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet. I think for this counter, I don't know whether we should go... Oop, let me turn on move objects. I don't know if we should just do a thin counter or whether we should do an island, because then we could have the actual seat. I think let's do an island one. And I think the blue top is a little bit too much blue, because the blue is more of an accent and it's also on all the walls, so that's too much if we go with the blue top. I want a white counter but a brown top, but I can't seem to find any. It's so hard to remember which colorways are on what counter, or even if that colorway exists in the first place. Oh, this one. But that looks so cheap. It kind of confuses me how The Sims prices their things. Like, this counter is more expensive than this counter, but this compared to this, like, this looks like really cheap and old and like it's been here a million years, and that one looks all modern. Obviously we won't be using this one because we're going for kind of a period feel, but it just confuses me on some of the prices and how some of the islands and their counters are so far apart. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna find one with a brown top and the white base, so we'll just have to go all white. Oh, I like that one. Okay, I'm glad that I cycled through all of them now. Yeah, that looks really good. And then we'll have a stool for the elf, and I think that's kind of funny, but like not in a like a haha let's make fun of you kind of way. That's mean, don't make fun of people. Just like kind of fitting that the elf would have a stool rather than just a regular chair to sit up at this counter. I think if he was seated here, that would make a lot of sense. And I think that the furnishings in here being a little bit modern is forgivable because I had mentioned in previous parts that I don't want it to be period accurate, but I want it to be period inspired. So I'm not going to have like everything be off the grid, which is a new thing that was just released in the recent update, so that's exciting, but I'm not going to for this because it's a Twisted Tales, which is what I've decided to call the series, is Twisted Tales. It's not meant to be, what is the difference between these? That's strange. Just the frame? Okay. It's not meant to be, your normal fairy tales. It's meant to be quite different, more dramatic, more modern kind of feeling. Like television, I know right now is going to be a thing based on the part in Shrek, which I thought was really cool, how they had it, like the ball kind of broadcasted everywhere. And I kind of want the same sort of everyone is watching feeling rather than the more safe, private kind of feeling that you would get from a Let's Play if, like, no one had cell phones or something like that. Like, I want there to be technology in it, I just don't think I'm going to use it as much as I would for a regular Let's Play. That's going to be the main difference. I also have added in new households to this world, so that's fun. I'm not going to tell you who they are, just yet. I'm kind of nervous about one of them, and I'll explain why when I introduce him, but, for now, I'm pretty excited. I've included several different fairy tales, probably. I think one of them would be less well known, and then the other two should be quite popular, I'd say. I like this, but it looks almost too cluttered for her type of a place. I think it could fit in there, just on the edge, the very edge. Actually, no, I want this desk to be very clear. I want it to look more official, I think. And I think that, yeah, just having the open checkbook, plus maybe a few files, file books, something like that, a single photo and pens, that looks a lot more official than having clutter on the whole thing. And when you add so much clutter into builds, sometimes it really works, and sometimes it's not what you want. Lately I haven't been doing as much clutter, and I kind of feel guilty about it, but sometimes it's just what the build needs, and lately it's been what the build needs. I think once we do some of the other fairy tale characters' homes, they'll be more cluttered for sure than this one will. Oh, that dark blue. Oh, that's gorgeous. And then it goes with a chair. Oh, yes. I love it when things fall into place. Okay, so this corner will be the elf's corner. I think that he deserves a bigger desk than just this, although that looks really sweet. Again, she's more corporeal. She's not as sweet, I guess. She wouldn't be wanting the most beautiful furnishing. She'd want everything to be hand-picked to give off the vibe that she runs this place and that it is a serious business, but at the same time still not completely knock you off your feet right as you walk in. Yeah, that desk is more official, but still toned down enough to work. And I think that once I start playing, you guys will kind of understand what I'm talking about more, rather than just thinking I'm rambling about someone who doesn't exist. Because the way that she comes to life will very much be reflected by the build, and the build will reflect her. And that will kind of make it feel more connected for you guys, I think. And since we don't have typewriters, which I would like to put in, I think, or I guess we could do the model typewriter, but that's encased in glass. Actually, maybe we will. I'll just try to find, oh, it might be in here. I know it's locked as well, so yeah, okay. That is a long cheat. I should get the mod which shortens that up. Now I'm gonna have to find it again. Silly me. I just think that because it's annoying when Sims visit your house or your retail lot or wherever. Like, I still haven't decided this is going to be a house or a retail lot, but it's really annoying when they come and sit on the computer, like the nearest computer, and just start playing games. So this will avoid that a little bit more, because I think I'm going to lock her study, or at least a part of her study, which will probably have the functioning computer. Like I said, we'll be using them occasionally, but I'm gonna try to limit it as much as possible. Like, maybe to avoid Sims using the computer all the time, I'll turn it on to off the grid occasionally, but then I'll also have to keep an eye on what types of toilets and showers I use, obviously. I think this type of lamp is perfect for her, just a little bit extra. And it's kind of hard for me to get the vibe right now, just because, like I said, I've been away. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos as well. I've been filming some other treats for you guys, so keep an eye out for those. But yeah, like I said, like, it's just hard for me to get back into the swing of it since it's been probably a week since I've recorded a fairy godmother build. And like, yeah, like I was talking about before, if you guys have any suggestions for who I should add into this series, please let me know. I would be delighted to include them if I know who they are. If I don't know who they are, I'll even research them, decide if I want them, and how I could use them and that kind of thing. I think we need curtains in here. Usually I kind of like to leave windows open. It gives a lot more light and makes it just look more airy, but in here I think curtains are called for. Maybe just these ones. It's annoying that because I've raised up the windows a little bit, all of these are lining up strangely now. Maybe this will work. That one, I don't want them to cover the whole window either, is the thing. I want it to mostly still be open, but just the curtains make it look more put together in general. I don't want them to be blue either. Maybe the red could even sneak into here a little bit. It doesn't look bad. I don't know if it works though. This one with a blue accent is okay. There we go. I also should let you guys know that I don't like to add mods to my game at all. They break it way too much, especially with all the updates that are probably going to be coming soon to fix glitches with island living, and also just in general around pack time they add lots of updates, it seems. So I don't want to add in a bunch of mods right now, especially not like height slider stuff, which I would be way too tempted to use in some of my save files that I like to be more vanilla. So I won't be using height sliders for the elves. I might actually make them children, but that might be annoying because then they'll be constantly going to the godmother being like, oh, tuck me into bed, but their job is to make the potions. What might end up happening is there'll be one elf who's a teen, so they'll look slightly smaller, but they'll be able to take care of themselves. We won't have to constantly be worrying about them or their fun because there's no children stuff about. And then they'll just they'll just be able to be the receptionist basically, but not anything else. I think that is really gorgeous, but that's a bit sinister. That might go in her study. These other colorways aren't bad though. Maybe only a 2 wide would be better because it kind of fits more in the center. Or should we do the main lounge kind of this way? Or this way? No, I think the only place the fireplace works is here or here. The other places look strange. And I apologize that this video is probably not going to be edited still, even though I was saying that around this time I would probably be editing more often. But the software that I have is really strange in that it takes a long time to render, and sometimes once it's finished rendering, it doesn't even allow you to sync up the audio and the video. so when you're editing, you can't tell that if the frame that you're cutting out is the right one to match up with the audio or not, because for one of the videos not pertaining to the fairy tale let's play, I don't want to spoil what it is, it's like really exciting to me, but for one of those videos I was trying to edit out the loading screens because they were taking forever for some reason. Usually they don't, but anyway, I was trying to edit it out and I couldn't figure out for the life of me where the visual and audio was supposed to line up, and no matter how many times I played it through, it just wasn't rendering. So in the end, I just didn't edit it very much. I added like one fade and called it a day, because I think I'm going to have to start trying new software, which means that it might take me a while to start actually editing. I can do speed builds, I figured out how to do those, but for a lot of the other things, they'll probably be unedited like this video. Anyway, sorry for talking so long about that. Obviously, since we have a fireplace here, we're not going to be putting the picture up here, I don't think, because it won't be as huge and in your face, and I want it to be like that, so it'll be over here taking up about this much on this wall here. Okay, so I think this couch looks the best. A lot of the get-together stuff works well for fairy tale builds in general. I think that if you have to walk behind this couch to go to the bathroom, that's just fine. Takes up a little bit more space, and plants are always a great addition to fairy tale builds. I was watching, I think her name is Izzy, a lesser known YouTuber. For the first time, I was just searched up fairy tale build, and hers was one of the ones that came up. And that kind of gave me more inspiration to do more of eclectic stuff, but for the moment, I don't think I'll be incorporating it that much, just because this build doesn't really call for it. Maybe in the basement I could though, because that's going to be a work environment where things would be left out and it would be a little bit more natural to have that sort of thing going on. Oh yeah, let's use these topiaries. In front of this window though, maybe I'll do something different actually. No, that's awful. What do you guys get stuck on when you're building? I know the Sim Supply is notorious for taking way too long to decide on which rugs to use in his homes. I am pretty much bad with everything. I think the worse I am, or the thing I'm worse for, is the wall and floor coloring, and then after I get that down, I'm pretty good. It's just like I cannot choose things. I'm just so indecisive. I don't think we can put a coffee table in here. It will just look too cramped. Maybe we could do some side tables just to like frame it in. I kind of like these long ones, but yeah, that looks weird. Yeah, I kind of thought so. So let's go for a shorter, skinny one maybe. I don't like to use these so much. I use this, and this over and over and over, as well as this one for modern builds, just because they're so small and they're the only ones that are so skinny, but I hate using the same things over and over. I just feel guilty about it because I don't get to experience the other things that come in The Sims. But I think I'm gonna have to throw those in there, because I just can't find anything that works better. Maybe this white, yeah. Those are gonna, oh, this one will be in front of the door though. Okay, so we're not doing that then. I'm gonna put in maybe some carpeting. Actually, I'm gonna do just regular carpeting and then put it around, because I think rugs can catch on fire. And we don't want that happening out of the blue. If we want to set someone on fire, we'll have to do fireworks or something. I just don't like having the surprise of suddenly everyone's running outside because you put a carpet in front of a fireplace. Oh, that's awful. I always struggle with picking flooring, like I said, so this is just a little painful for me. That kind of works. Maybe if it's facing the other direction, that looks a bit better. And is this better yet? Oh yeah, I like the dark and the gold. It kind of goes with the lights, and then it breaks up the room. So that works really well there. Okay, yes. And then all we have is this little corner of the common room to furnish, the reception area, I should say. So I don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna put a plant here for sure, just so that it looks a bit more enclosed over there. I don't think I want to put in a half wall or anything though, maybe just like a double wide. No, that looks weird. There's so many things that seem like a good idea when you're thinking about it, and then you place it and it's just awful. And today seems to be one of those days, unfortunately. Okay. You know what? Maybe since I'm having such a bad day with my commentary and I'm a little bit sleepy and I'm a little bit out of it, I will actually break my previous statement and saying I'm not going to tell you who will be in the Twisted Tales LP, and I will actually just outright spoil it. Well, it won't be a spoiler. I'm just gonna tell you who's going to be in it so far, and these are by no means all of the characters. So, who I've added into the world thus far is Mother Gothel, Rapunzel, obviously, going along with Mother Gothel, the Mad Hatter, so that's gonna be Goofy, and the heroine and the villainess from Swan Lake. So I'm really excited. I know there are a lot of females. One of the reasons that I added the Hatter was kind of to balance out the cast. There will be Prince Charmings. There have to be, basically, in order for this to feel like a true fairy tale LP. Yeah, so far I was just thinking like, okay, we have Rapunzel, Mother Gothel, Odette, and Odile, that's her name, sorry. And they're all women. Even though Swan Lake has a male villain in the original ballet, I didn't go with that. So I was kind of feeling like there are way too many women, there are way too many damsels in distress going on. I need to add in someone new, and that's why I added the Hatter. And he's the one that I'm kind of nervous about. I don't think I'll talk about it in this video because it'll bring it kind of more political. And you'll see why when I talk about his character. But once I do introduce him, if it becomes awkward or controversial or anything, because like I said, like I just don't really feel comfortable with it yet, and I don't know whether in the Let's Play it'll be acceptable or not, but if it's not good, I'm going to take him out as soon as anyone says anything, or as soon as I just don't feel right about it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with him, it's just that I know that some people might see him in a way that I didn't intend, because when I was coming up with his storyline, I started to see things I didn't like about it immediately, or at least red flags, things I had to change in order for it to be PG. So, well, not quite PG. The Sims 4 is a teen game, so 16 and under, let's say, I needed to change. a few things. And don't worry, there's not going to be anything in this that is mature. There's not going to be like strippers or anything like that. It's going to be very much teen friendly, but the only thing is his character is just a little bit verging on inappropriate in a way that I don't want to talk about at the moment. But yeah, don't worry about it. The LP is gonna be fine. If anything comes up, I'll just get rid of him. I'll change his character. I'll do anything it takes to keep it appropriate and amusing rather than just awkward. But anyway, I'm so excited to be introducing those characters. I really hope that you guys will fall in love with them. I've already fallen in love with them. I've moved all of them into Windenburg so far. I might have some living outside of Windenburg, but those will be like foreigners probably, so it makes sense for them to be living so far away. Like, for example, if I were to put Elsa, which I don't think I will, but if I were to put Elsa, I'd have her living far away because she lives in the Netherlands, and this is not a, I guess, are the Netherlands Scandinavian? Forgive me if you're from the Netherlands. I don't know anything. But it's not that type of world. This is more British or Germanic, I guess. And if you know the tidbit from Frozen, where Rapunzel comes to visit Elsa's coronation, then you'll know that Rapunzel, who is from a Germanic kingdom, had to travel pretty far to get to Arendelle, which is a Norwegian kingdom. So I want to keep that kind of realistic. So yeah, like if it was someone from maybe France, like Belle, Beauty and the Beast might live far away. Mulan would live far away, things like that. I'd place them in other worlds so that, obviously, so we don't run out of space in this one, but also just so it's a little bit more immersive. Now, I just want to set a little table here. Oh, that's cute. Yep. That's one of the first times this video that I didn't have to cycle through a million things before deciding on what I wanted. Okay. Let's put some clutter items on here. Maybe a couple books. Maybe more books? I don't know. Candles. Yeah, just like that. That looks good. I don't want to put too much on the walls, just enough to make it look interesting and not awkward. I'm not liking the floor over here. I thought I wanted a little feature, but maybe it looks better just being clean. I'm just gonna put in a rug instead. I know I said I didn't want the fire hazard, and the whole reason I was doing that was, or putting in the carpet, was so that it didn't catch on fire. But you know what? Sometimes aesthetics over practicality, you know? Let's go this one. Why? Yeah, then that still breaks up the room, but it's not so eye-catching that it distracts from everything else. Maybe what we could do is, because this is all the same dimension, is put this as a carpet going to the fairy godmother's room. Because obviously this goes here as well, but it doesn't look wrong, I think. Okay, maybe I will put in a half wall there just to hide the floor change. Just this one. Oop. And that way it looks like it's kind of leading to her office. Like this elf would just have a walkway to and from, and would it be assisting her daily. What I'm looking for is this trim. I think I'll do a wide trim just so that it doesn't look like I'm hiding it. I want to go with that brown though. Yeah, okay. And then put this back over here. And I don't really want to add another pillar, but it looks kind of strange without it. There. Yeah, this could also be kind of a place where she might go up and then put down the paperwork without having to actually interact with him, which seems like something she might do. I think she's a bit snobby. I don't remember if that's one of her traits, but very well could be. And then for the bathroom, let's do some wall sconces, I think. I don't like those ones very much. This one is a little over the top. They're kind of big, is what I mean by that. Over the top isn't bad in this build at all. And they'd also have to be offset like that. Yeah, I think it works in its own kind of strange way. And then the bathroom, since it's just toilets and showers, can have this wood again. I just hope that, because I haven't used an actual designated bathroom door, that Sims won't just like go in here all the time, just because it's a place they can go to. I know that they tend to do that. Let's make this a garbage disposal part. Doesn't quite work. Yeah. I'm most excited for doing her office. I just like to get the common areas out of the way first, because it sets a tone for the other furniture in the build. It makes more sense if you're using the same couches over and over to make it consistent through the whole thing. Like, obviously, maybe the colors are different or things like that, but I think it's just strange to use a million different styles when you could just replicate a few over a couple times and then have it look more organic, like the person put a lot of thought into the exact furniture they're going to have in their establishment. Now, sometimes what I like to do is raising up standalone sinks into counters so that it looks more built in, but still get this fancy bowl, whereas the ones that sink into the counter are just kind of boring and they all look the same. Like, it's just a hole. They're not shaped like this one. I don't know for sure that these are usable. I think that they are, but it looks weird, but I can live with that. If when we're playing The Sims can't reach it, then maybe I'll change this middle one to be functional and then leave these ones more ornate as decorations. But I'm pretty sure that they're usable. I know lots of things that don't seem like they should be usable are, so I wouldn't be surprised if those would be. I don't know if I want to do pictures or anything in here. I don't think so. Now let's just go into the actual stalls, add in one of these again. Quite fancy stalls, but can't put it above the fairy godmother. She makes dreams come true after all, so she might as well have the dream public bathroom, if there is such a thing. I know that a lot of my friends and family are very, very particular when it comes to public bathrooms, as in they won't use them, period. They always have to wait until you get back home or to the hotel room or whatever, which I understand they're nasty most of the time, but I also don't understand, because it saves yourself a lot of pain if you just went and got it over with, but oh well, it's your choice. I think I will put matching photos in each of the stalls. Like, I mean, who's gonna know? You're not gonna go into both of the stalls probably unless you work here, in which case you have no right to complain. But yeah, definitely want to have some towels. I love these. I love all the vampire stuff. It's just So beautiful, and I haven't got to use it all that much since the pack is new. Oh, they have a garbage though, so maybe they should have disposable towels. I always have a hard time finding that rack. Is it, if I just search towel, is it this? No. Maybe I am thinking of The Sims 3. Because I know for sure in The Sims 3 they had this ugly looking paper towel rack that would make more sense for public washrooms. I think we might just have to go with a non-paper towel and then pretend. Because I can't find it if there is one. And keep in mind, I don't have all the packs, so if there is one but it's in a pack I don't have, I won't be able to see it either. If it's not base game or one of the few that I have in the game right now, then I won't be able to see it. Yeah, we're just gonna go with these. Unfortunately, that would have been better if there were paper towels, but oh well. Did I put toilet rolls in both of them? Good, okay. Drives me crazy when there aren't toilet rolls on a build. I have to put it there. Like, even if I forget everything else. Like, there literally was a time I forgot to furnish, like, the master bedroom, I think. But I did not forget a single toilet roll, so, you know, at least I had that going. Anyway, now it's time to finally move on to the main event. This is exciting. I think it will be super grand. Obviously, that's what this is all about. It's about Fairy Godmother. It's about her business. About making wishes happen. And she's got to have the best of the best. I have decided that I want this to be a double high bookshelf area with curtains all around. Since I have been building, I have been thinking about this a lot. So, is this wall height different? I believe it is, isn't it? No, it isn't. Okay, so we're still on the short wall height, but maybe we could get away with going with the medium ones. And then just sinking them down a little bit. It's a bit difficult to place curtains in The Sims. Why? Because they always snap to the spot I don't want them to go. Okay, no, we're gonna go with the short ones and just try to ignore the little gap there. There. This is gonna end up being pretty expensive too, I think. But you know what? We don't care because we have a mother load, so money cheats make everything better. To be perfectly clear though, I think in most Let's Plays and stuff, I'm not going to ever be using cheats. It's just this one, as I have explained in other videos, is going to be particularly story oriented. So if I need something for the story, I don't have a problem with making it happen with a cheat. It's just that it has to make sense, and I'm not going to be doing a bunch of crazy stuff without it a reason. Like, I'm not going to cheat needs, I think, most of the time, unless it's an important part of the story and things like that. Like, for cheating money, doesn't matter. Fairy tale characters are usually rich, even if they're not. Like, I can make them look poor without them actually having to be poor. It doesn't really matter. Especially in the story, if I just decide that this person isn't getting a bedroom because they're too poor, then they're too poor, even if they have 100 million simoleons. Okay, let's just make sure you can't see those curtains poking out. Nope, the roof placement has done me well. Okay. I just didn't like before that you could see the upper floor curtains when this wall was down. And I'm aware that this episode is going to be long, just like all my other episodes have been so far, and I am so sorry for that, but like I've said, like I've just been struggling with any sort of editing software that made sense. Everything has just kind of been wonky, and I don't know if that's a sign that maybe I gotta stop recording so many videos and learn editing, or if it means I gotta switch to a different type of platform, but I'll figure it out eventually, I promise. I do want the curtains to show. Like, I could put just like this, but then that's gonna completely cover the curtains. There's no point in even having them there. But then these won't line up if I put them on top of each other, which is kind of the point of having a double high area in the first place. Maybe these ones would. I think these are pretty good. Okay, let's go with brown though, because she's not so sinister as to have black bookcases, but she is going for definitely richer colors in this room. She would have it all coordinated to work out perfectly. That sticks through just a tiny bit. There. Oh, these curtains are clipping a little bit, aren't they? What happens if I just cover it with a pillar on the outside? Will that work? No. I might just cover those with flowers because it's hardly noticeable, and just getting the placement on curtains and things like that is so annoying, and I don't want to have to redo it or try to resize them or anything. But I'll do that off screen, don't worry. And I'll try to do quite a bit off camera, just because I know that these get long. But I like to talk to you guys. I love recording, and I love building, so of course I want to spend all my time in build mode. Okay, so let's try to stack these now. Now these, I know for a fact, will be visible from this floor, but because it will be, like, it looks like it's one unit, I don't think it'll be as big of a deal as the curtains. They don't stick up nearly as far as the curtains would either. Let's see how that looks with the walls all the way up. That looks really nice. Maybe we should even go through a third one. Oh, we're running out of funds. See, this is the beauty of cheats. Done. And now we shouldn't run out of money again, hopefully. Unless we decide to do a giant basement, then we might. Okay, let's see if one more fits. Just one more. Oh, does it? Just barely. Yeah. Does that appear though? Because that's, oh, that's too tall now. Why would that appear though if it's on the second floor? I guess because it's not attached to anything. It doesn't need to be that tall actually. I can live with that. I might put in a coffee table or something in between the bookshelves to try to make it look taller. Like, let's try that right now. And yeah, since this is getting pretty long, and as I said, I am quite tired, I will probably end this one earlier than I suggested. Like, I'm gonna get this kind of layer area done where her cauldron will be, or some sort of equivalent item. Maybe she'll just have like a little kitchenette, which would be kind of funny actually. But I'll finish like basically this part, and then I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm just gonna move this closer for a second. That won't stay there, just so I have light. But yeah, let's see if we can stick in a little table or something to fill it out and make it just a little bit taller. This might work. I think it has a matching color to these. It's way too big though. these might work. This looks kind of promising. Actually, let's do it on these ones because they're already aligned properly, so I don't have to fiddle with it as much. I'm so sorry about my mic not being very loud as well. I have noticed, and you will probably have to watch my videos with headphones, which I assume you're doing right now if you're watching, but that's just kind of going to have to be this way for a while unless I can find some sort of fix for it, or if I can suddenly afford a new mic, then it's just gonna have to be this way because we don't, my husband and I that is, we don't have very many extra funds at the moment, and this is a hobby for me, not a career obviously, since I don't have many subscribers, but thank you to those of you who have subscribed, it means a lot. But it's not a career yet, so I can't justify buying a new mic at the moment. But like all things that we do for fun, there is a time where I'll be able to splurge and I'll be able to fix the sound quality by getting a better mic. I actually bought this mic when I was in high school to record my singing so I could practice hearing my voice and practice harmonies. So it's kind of funny that I ended up using it for this because I never imagined that I'd actually start YouTube. There were so many times where I'm like, oh, if I was a YouTuber, I would do this or that. But then, of course, I wasn't ever one, so I might as well have been talking about if I were a millionaire or something. But now that I am, it means that it actually comes to use for something other than just learning that I don't know how to harmonize and probably never will. I don't know why. It's quite a thing. I won't ever be singing on this channel, hopefully, because that would be embarrassing. And if I do, I'll just pitch it up like those other YouTubers who are probably also embarrassed and pretend nothing happened, you know? No, but in all seriousness, there's nothing wrong with singing poorly at all. It's just that I personally am not confident enough to share my croakiness with the whole world. Even if it's just for a YouTube video that hardly anyone will see. But who knows, maybe I'll grow. Maybe that will be a thing in the future. I'm so sorry about raising up all these things and how long it's taking. I just want this part to look very, very well put together, very good. This is starting to lean a little bit too far to the right. But, yeah, hopefully, once this is done, then there'll be some more discussion about how to get the cauldron going. Because I do not like build by CC, like I said. I like my builds to all be very accessible. I like my Sims to also be accessible, but it's easier to switch out like a hair on a Sim than it is to completely redo a build and have to try to figure out for yourself what actually works if you're placing a bunch of stuff that doesn't exist in the game. I think this is pretty good over here. And like I said, like falling back on the same patterns and colors and the same items is usually a pretty good tool to making a unified build. I think that's too dark though, and these boards don't match that at all, so maybe I'll have to go with this. That looks really good. Oh, I love that, and I kind of like how I extended the walkway into here, but that could change if it doesn't make sense for the room. But I think splitting it up more is good, especially if over here I think this will be kind of like her computer area, and then her secret stairway, or maybe not secret, maybe she just has a blatant stairway going down, will be over in this area, so it'll make more sense. Okay, let's look at how this is from both That looks really good. Are these higher up than those ones? Okay, these ones are lower than everything else. So let's just fix that. Put that one up, and this one up as well. Oop. There. That looks better. I'm pretty sure everything is in line. Alright. So yeah, this is good because she's a fairy, she can fly around in here then. Hypothetically, obviously she won't in the game because she cannot actually fly, but you can imagine her like flying up to this shelf, grabbing a book, and then bringing it down for a recipe or something. So, now is the horrible question of how to make the cauldron. And since I can't think of a single item off the top of my head that isn't in the hidden objects category, we're gonna go look at them, because there's so many times where I just found like even just like around item that works way better than any of the other things we could try to make into a cauldron. Like for example, even this, if I size this up, that's kind of like a cauldron. That's more like Galadriel looking into the pool of truth or whatever, but it's still better than a lot of anything else that is in the majority of the catalog. So let's see if there is a cauldron. I guess there's like a kettle, which would be sort of a funny representation of a cauldron, but that seems strange. A little bit too weird with a spout on it, unless that's just the way her alchemy station kind of goes. Also, I'm really excited for the magic pack coming up, because that means that maybe a lot of the stuff needed for this LP will actually exist, and I won't have to look for it, because yeah, wizards, witches, they use cauldrons. Obviously the fairy godmother isn't really either of those things, but let's get some of these out just to display somewhere else. I might not put them anywhere now, but I like to do this to prepare for later. Yeah. And also, as soon as I can afford island living, I will be adding mermaids, I'm pretty sure. I think if I do the Little Mermaid, like the one that everyone is most familiar with, I'm going to do the original fairy tale though, because I think that's a little bit easier to twist. It's a little twisted already, to be honest, and it's just more interesting because it's something people haven't seen. This galvanized picture kind of work? No, it doesn't. Let's just be honest, this doesn't work at all. Go away. Oh, these decorations are pretty good. Now they look too cheesy. Obviously they're made by children. Like, I'm not saying the decorations themselves are bad, but they don't suit the fairy godmother, that's for sure. She would not be about children at all. I'm kind of surprised, like, honestly, that she would even, her son would be Prince Charming. Like, if you haven't seen Shrek, sorry, but I mean, it's probably been 20 years, whatever it is. Like, it's been a long time, so, like, I don't feel that bad. But, yeah, Prince Charming being her son kind of, well, it's supposed to be surprising because it doesn't make that much sense. But, oh, that doesn't even show up. But, I just don't see her as someone who would ever want kids, but she loves Prince Charming to bits, and she spoils him. Oh, this. Yes. Okay, that can be like, yeah, I feel like she would be like mixing stuff on top of this. So if this bowl even, oh, it can fit up there, weird. Okay, but if we size it down like 1, then that looks definitely like she could be mixing stuff in here. And if I get the pool decoration thing, I wonder the steaming grates. If I use one of these, will this cause steam in live mode? That would be sick. Yeah. Okay, that's so good. I think I'm gonna add quickly just like a couple drink trays like with these potions on. Or just like one here and a chair there or something like that. Just so it looks like she's kind of prepared some already and I set them aside to be carted away. I think we should go with the gold in here. Maybe a little bit of a muted gold like that. Yeah. Just kind of shove it off to the corner. And then let's put these on. Vintage glamour stuff is surprisingly a good pack for this build too. I think got to use it quite that much, but it works pretty well. And we're almost getting to the point where I'm gonna quit. So thank you for watching up to this point. Please continue to watch because I think we're gonna see this steam effect. Hopefully it works. I'm crossing my fingers, praying to the Lord. Just it would be so awesome. Okay, I don't know that she would have like a throne here. Maybe that would just be like if she's telling someone to wait while she's making a pretty simple potion she can do right away. She just have them seated over there. I don't know what color of a seat. I don't want to go with all red. That's maybe purple. The lighter one. Yeah. That works pretty well. It works well enough for the intent like that we're going for. So yeah, she just has someone seated there if they needed a potion stat, and then she could do that. Maybe some candles actually for lighting over here because I always forget when I'm using temporary lighting that I'm gonna have to actually light the space. So let's just yeet that over there. And here we go. Ooh, don't set those curtains on fire though. Careful about that. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we'll just use the same candelabra in a lot of the corners of the room. Okay, if the candle's completely hidden though, like, what's the difference? You're not gonna know. It kind of makes it a little bit more varied as well. Yeah, that's better. I don't mind when things clip as long as it's not in a way that looks completely impossible. Just so you guys know that in my builds I'll be intersecting lots of things like that. And that's just because if it makes sense, a lot of the time it looks a lot nicer than just having nothing. And I think over there I am just gonna have nothing simply because I don't want to overlight this area. It looks kind of moody on purpose. But I will put in a chandelier decoration here. I might just, or lighting I guess. I might just have it turned off constantly though, because I don't want to overlight it like I said. But I think that she needs something here. And I think that one kind of works, but it also looks too old. This one might be better. For some reason they're snapping to the lower floor, and I can't really go up a level. So I might have to raise it, but that is fine with me. I think let's go with the black edged one. It just kind of breaks up the color scheme going on a little bit more. I think that is too high. Yes, it is. Let's do it again. That's too high as well. There. I think that is fine if it's just a little bit too high, because it will just be stuck into the roof and then you just don't see the base, which who really cares anyway. Actually, maybe I'll turn this light color to a different color. Okay, so first of all, live mode. Let us see if the steam works. Oh, it's like bubbling. It works! It looks so cool! No, don't drink that. Don't throw it away. That's the one thing I don't like about switching to live mode is your sim automatically is just like, oh, let's clean this place up. No, do not. It looks amazing. But this light, let's set the color and intensity of this specific light to be crimson? Ooh, that looks weird. I didn't know it would actually change the glass color. I thought it would just change the light given off by it. I don't like that. Let's go back to this, but just like make it really dim. Because we don't want it to overlight this area. I think about there. That looks good. Okay, so I think this is a huge success. We have furnished her little kind of lair area with bubbles and all sorts of effects going on. I am so happy that works above water as well. Makes it look so magical, like she's cooking something up. I'm a little bit disappointed we had to go with this bowl instead of a cauldron, but on that table I think it looks okay enough. And then we've created the lounge area and the waiting, obviously, kind of set up, as well as a reception desk. And a little nook for our elf and the bathrooms. I'm just going to throw in a coffee table right now. I'm not going to be picky. I can change this later if I need to, because this is taking more parts than I expected. That is my own fault. I hope you're enjoying them though. I hope that you like building with me in real time. I don't always have the time to do speed builds, especially once I go off to uni in July. I will have even less time to edit, so I hope that this type of style is good, especially then I can start doing more LP, more let's build style stuff for when I don't have as much time to edit. But thank you so much for watching, thank you for your patience, and I'm so grateful that you made it this far into the video. I'm so grateful that you checked me out. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and I really hope to see you again in the next part. Bye!